Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video, we will talk about maximum recipient limit on the emails which are transacted on the Exchange servers. As we saw on our previous video where we talk about maximum size limits for the Exchange emails or the mail content, the maximum recipient limit is also set on multiple levels. This can be set on the organizational level, connector level, and recipient level as well. And this is also based on most restricted will be enforced. For the outgoing external email, the limit on recipient level may be at 500 and the limit on organization level is set to 100. Then the maximum limit will be 100 for the external emails. In case of incoming emails, if the limit is set to 100 at organizational level, at the recipient level, the maximum recipient limit is set to 500. Then also the external email address will have the limit of 100. So wherever we have more restriction, that will be enforced on the maximum number of recipient limit. So let's go to our Exchange and see how this works. Open PowerShell. Let's clear the screen. To check the organizational level of limit, we can use get transport config and select max recipient envelope limit. By default, this is set to 500 on Exchange server, and on the receive connector, we can see get receive connector and select the name of the receive connectors and max recipients per message. This is set to 5000 on default connector, and for other connectors it is set to 200. And at the recipient level, we can set this for mailboxes and mail users. So to check the limit on mailboxes, we will see for one of the mailbox and select the name, and we will add the parameter recipient limits. As you see on the mailbox level, it is set to unlimited. Let's check the same for mail user. As we do not have any mail user, we do not see anything here. However, this can be set on the mail user, mailbox, and on the connector level, and on the organization level using transport config. So as you can see, the internal email limit for the recipient will be unlimited, as this will not check the organization level or the connector level of limits. However, for the external, if the email is going through one of these connectors, then the limit will be 200. And if the email is using this connector, then the limit will go to organization level, which is 500. However, for the internal limits, it will be up to 5000. Let's take this into action. Set the limit for Shivkumar mailbox using set mailbox and specify the recipient limit as 5. Let's use FL and see the limit for this user now. It is set to 5. So let's go back to our over and try to create a new email and add all users. As you can see, this is sent to 29 recipients, and then let's call it as test 6, and I will say testing in the body and hit send. As you can see, the email still goes through. This is because the all user is a DL, which is a dynamic distribution group, and this is considered as one recipient while sending on the transport pipeline. However, let's use individual users here. So as you can see, I have added more than 10 recipients here. Let's do test 8 or 9 and call this as testing in the subject and try to send this message and see what happens. As you can see, this email has been sent. However, the email wasn't delivered to anyone because there are too many recipients. Let's copy the subject name and go to inbox and search for this email here. You can see the email has been rejected with the NDR saying that it has more recipients than the limit which you have on the recipient, so it cannot send, and these are the users to which it did not deliver. Like this, you can control the number of recipients on each email using the limits which can be set on mailbox or mail user or the connector level or on the organizational level using the transport config. In case if you want to send email to the bulk user, then it is always advised to use the distribution list or dynamic distribution list, which is considered as one recipient at the transport pipeline. And in case of exceptional user who will send email to multiple distribution lists, more than 500 or thousands of distribution list or users in your organization who try to send a newsletters or holiday messages, or in case of HR who will be sending day-to-day communication to all users at your organization, you may need to set specific limits for them, and you may increase the limits for them internally, maybe up to whatever the limit you needed on your environment basis. For now, I will put it back to unlimited to use the defaults on the Exchange server so that I can send and receive the emails from this mailbox. Now, if I try to send that email with the same recipient list, paste this email addresses, and we will call this test 10 and try to send this email now. The email seems to be sent from my sent box. As you can see, this email is delivered to me and there is no error. So this is how you can use the recipient limits on your organization to limit the number of recipients on the mailbox or on the connector level or on the organization level to reduce the load on transport pipeline. So that's it for this video. I hope this was informative. See you on the next one.